Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
So much of what the political left is doing right now is either not based in reality or self-destructive behavior. And all of these narratives that they claimed were false are turning out to be true. And this is what we're going to talk about here to open up the nightly news tonight. We're going to start by talking about a man in Urbana who is charged with living and voting in the U.S. illegally. A Mexican national who has lived in Urbana since 2005, allegedly using a stolen identity, was arraigned Thursday on 7 federal counts, including 4 related to voting by an illegal immigrant. Well, wait a second. Remember all the mainstream news outlets saying Trump's voter fraud claims debunked? It appears that they're fully bunked, and I'm curious if they're going to cover this story. My guess is they won't cover this story, and then in a week when these stories are kind of on the back burner, they'll start running those headlines again. Trump voter fraud completely rejected. Trump voter fraud claim debunked, even though it's been fully proven. Now, Sessions has vowed to uphold immigration laws that he claimed went largely unenforced during the Obama administration. Wow. We want borders? Sessions wants a sovereign country? And that's really what this comes down to. What type of policies are you going to end up with? Open borders, not a sovereign nation. That's it. That is the ends to the means that the political left is trying to fight for right now. It's open borders. You can't have it both ways. The left thinks they can, but they can't. Now, here's the story. This man used the fake identity to live in Illinois since March of 2005. He had 2 restaurants, and he obtained a lawful permanent resident card for his wife. The couple has 4 children, all born in the United States. Now, look. Here's a man who it appears to be a hard worker. He owned restaurants. He had a family, but he was here illegally. And in the past, as it's been said, these are unprecedented moves. In the past, you didn't have to worry about that. You didn't have to worry about this during the Obama administration. But now Trump is in office and he is the law and order president. And this is going to be an interesting thing I think we're going to have to face. Are the kids now citizens of the United States? They were born here after all. So are they citizens, or because their father was here illegally, are they going to look at maybe stopping the anchor baby legislation? But this is a debate we'll have, and we'll see if this reaches the floor. But of course, we can't even get the left to admit that voter fraud exists. So who knows if they can go down that philosophical path of children's born to illegal immigrants in the United States being anchor babies. But this is not the only story. Another Mexican citizen is sentenced to 8 years in prison for voter fraud in Texas. Whoa, another case of voter fraud. Trump is right. The family of a woman convicted of voter fraud is speaking out after a Tarrant County jury sentenced her to 8 years in prison. Seems pretty steep, but you have to make examples of these cases. Otherwise, they're going to continue to happen. What's going to happen to the kids? It's not fair. No, what's not fair is breaking the law and getting away with it. What's not fair is not becoming an immigrant in the United States the right way. That's not fair to the people that did it the right way. And why aren't you doing the due diligence to become a citizen? That's your fault. That's your fault. So I don't want people to sit here and say, oh, look at the law. Look at the Trump administration. They don't care about the kids. No, it was the parents' responsibility to take the due diligence and time to become a citizen. They knew the risk when they did not do that. You have to know the risk, breaking the law, what that poses to your family. So don't sit here and blame the law for that, because you know that's what they're going to do. And of course, they're trying to fight this case. Her attorney is saying that she has a learning disability and was confused about the difference between being a citizen and a legal resident. She thought she was allowed to vote. Well, that might have been Obama's rhetoric that confused her there, but the jury did not buy that story, and she is facing 8 years in jail. Not sure if I'm buying that one either. Now, let's move on to some of the unrest that's going on in the country right now. Fear spreads in LA after immigration raid, advocates claim. Officials say arrests are routine. Well, at least they'll be routine now if you're here illegally. Protesters blocked an on-ramp to the 101 freeway in Los Angeles, objecting to what they claim is a rise in immigrant raids. And it turns out that it's kind of ambiguous right now whether these raids are actually increasing or not. You kind of have narratives on both sides, but panicked emails and phone calls began streaming in from the community members, and all these people are calling in worried about the law being enforced on immigration. So I just have to scratch my head. Are all these people calling in illegal citizens? When we have these colleges and cities fighting for sanctuary status, are they aware of illegal citizens that are already there? Are they already aiding and abetting lawbreakers? This is something that needs to be looked into. From my view, police and immigration officials denied the raids and disputed claim that the arrests were part of a more stringent approach, saying any detentions were simply part of routine enforcement activities. And again, a lot of this is kind of hearsay. Are they increasing? Are they not? You've got narratives coming out on both ends. Regardless, what appears to be the case is that the Trump administration is enforcing immigration law. Now, this is unprecedented coming out of Mexico. Mexico warned citizens after U.S. deportation of undocumented mother. Mexico warned its citizens living in the United States on Friday to take precautions and remain in contact with consular officials a day after the deportation of an undocumented mother following a routine visit with U.S. immigration authorities. Yeah, I'm sure that this highly publicized case is not what led to the freakout in Los Angeles. The case involving Miss Garcia de Reyes illustrates a new reality for the Mexican community living in the United States, facing the most severe implementation of immigration control measures. The Mexican consulates have intensified their work of protecting fellow nationals, foreseeing more severe immigration measures to be implemented by authorities of this country and possible violations to the constitutional precepts during such operations and problems with due process. No, what's going to happen here is that the law is going to be enforced, okay? And it's amazing to me. Again, this is Mexico reaching out to Mexican nationals, I guess, again, who are breaking the law in the United States illegally, saying, hey, we got your back. How does this work? That's like Trump coming out and saying, hey, American citizens who are in Mexico illegally, don't worry, I got your back. No, that's not how it's going to go down, folks. And if you reversed this case, if you had Americans living in Mexico illegally, how do you think it would work out for them? Do you think that there'd be Mexican cities and schools fighting for sanctuary status? For some reason, I highly doubt that. Highly doubt that. Now, we'll get more into some of the protests here in a minute, but why these people are protesting, we're going to shed more light on that. Now, this will shed some light on the current status of the Democrat Party. Top House Democrats, we are grateful for Chelsea Handler's insight. What? Chelsea Handler? Why are you grateful for Chelsea Handler's insight? What has Chelsea Handler ever done for anyone? She's a comedian. I don't think she's funny. Maybe you think she's funny. Why do you want her advice on politics? House Democrats said they were grateful comedian Chelsea Handler made an appearance at the Democratic Issues Conference in Baltimore, Maryland Friday, adding they were looking forward to hearing more of her insights. Again, why? This story tells you all you need to know about the Democrats. They are just absolutely melting down and looking in the wrong direction for leadership every time. Now, here's a story from Paul Joseph Watson on Infowars.com. New Katy Perry song encourages anti-Trump riots. Chained to the rhythm track, and it features lines that say, we're stumbling, we're crumbling, we're about to riot. They woke up the lions. Now, Katy Perry's songs, at least some of the songs that she releases that are the pop culture kind of music, usually do have Illuminati symbolism or lyrics that have meaning to it. But you know what? I actually have to disagree with Paul Watson on this one. I'm not sure if these lyrics were openly just written to be in favor of Trump protests, but I do think there are undertones to Katy Perry's writings. But it's funny to me, they woke up the lions. That's us. That's the real Americans that voted for Donald Trump. So I'm not sure if she understands that or not. But here we go. Duke University training students for anti-Trump activism. Can you believe this? Duke University is sponsoring a workshop for the purpose of training students to engage in activism against President Trump's administration. The LGBTQAIHFGBT blah, blah, blah. Activist Mandy Carter will lead the February 15th event, which is titled Ideas for Activism in the Time of Trump. And here's the word vomit that they're spewing. Listen to this. This is so pseudo-intellectual, you won't even be able to stand it. The university-sponsored events will focus on understanding the importance of changing the hearts and minds and the changing of public policy and social justice movements. How our North Carolina Moral Monday movement can be a model of diverse coalition that brings together social justice people to take a stand against Trump administration. You're going to find more sense in a dirty diaper. The website includes a variety of how-to documents on opposing Trump, as well as a listing of liberal anti-Trump organizations around the country. The University of New Hampshire had to issue an apology in the wake of Trump's election. They're so sorry. After using official university resources to promote anti-Trump protests. Here's my suggestion. Any school that does anything like that, whether it be Duke, New Hampshire, Berkeley, cut their funds. Period. Exclamation point. That's it. Protest erupts in downtown LA following reports of immigration raids at homes across Southern California. Again, there's a lot of hearsay going on here, but think about this. Would an illegal immigrant protest for you if you got arrested for breaking a law that you or they disagree with? No, it's not going to happen. All of these protesters are so indoctrinated into virtue signaling social justice cult warriors, it's not even funny. While immigration advocates say more than 100 people were detained Thursday as U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officials conducted home raids across 3 Southern California counties, the federal agency insists its operations were routine, not part of President Trump's unprecedented immigration crackdown. Again, they have to call it unprecedented because Obama never followed the law. Here's more protesters. Protesters block Betsy DeVos from entering public school in Washington. And these were very violent, angry protesters. They should have been arrested. Hey, where's your future is female sign, by the way, protesters? I couldn't believe the behavior of these protesters. They are getting more out of control, and they're everywhere. Protesters swarmed Chaffetz Town Hall. Representative Jason Chaffetz on Thursday faced a flood of protests during a town hall. And he said, you're really not going to like it, but the president, under the law, is exempt from conflict of interest laws. Oh, they hate it. They hate it when you drop those little fact nuggets on them. Shia LaBeouf, he will not divide us protest, closed due to potential violence. Well, it already, I think, was essentially closed when Shia got himself arrested, but now the webcam has officially been shut off, but not before. An Infowars supporter with his 1776 shirt shows up, and other than Shia LaBeouf's arrest, has the greatest moment in the history of Shia LaBeouf's web stream. What a powerful message that man had. Now, Under Armour now has a Trump problem. The CEO likes Donald Trump, but his biggest stars don't. Chief Executive Officer Kevin Plank publicly praised President Trump, saying that he was a real asset for this country. Yeah, exactly. Maybe he's going to bring Under Armour manufacturing back to America, no longer in Mexico and Asia. But Stephen Curry and Dwayne Johnson do not like this. Now, look. I like Steph Curry and Dwayne Johnson because they're good Americans. They work hard. They're some of the best in their fields. Why are you coming out against Trump, guys? Are you really buying into the brainwashed liberal establishment agenda? Come on, you have to be better than that. If all Under Armour products got made in America instead of overseas, how can you not support that? What if Donald Trump did that? But I don't know. It pains me to see all of these athletes coming out against Trump. It's really sad. Are you brainwashed or are you bought and paid for? UTA cancels Oscar party to protest Donald Trump's travel ban. The United Talent Agency has canceled their Academy Awards party and instead is donating $250,000 to the American Civil Liberties Union and the International Rescue Committee to hold a rally that goes against Trump's anti-immigrant sentiment. No, it's actually pro-immigrant. Actually, Donald Trump is pro-immigrant. He's anti-illegal immigrant, but people can't wrap that around their heads. Now, it's supposed to happen on February 21st, and it's meant to combat the potentially chilling effect on the global exchange of ideas of freedom and expression. Well, here are those ideas. Hundreds of thousands are marching in Iran right now, saying death to America. On the anniversary of the Islamic Revolution, hundreds of thousands of military personnel and policemen and citizens are marching on the American flag in Iraq. And you want to bring this here? We had a Marine, Steve Jern, come out and said, hey, look, if you're an American and you come to Iraq, you're going to get tortured. You're going to get kidnapped. But all of these people, these social justice warriors, they want these people from Iraq and Iran here who hate Americans, who chant death to America in the streets. There's the ideas that you're wanting to bring here. So again, would they stand up for you? Would Mexicans protest for you? Would Iranians protest for you? Yeah, they're protesting for your death right now. But you're sad because Trump had a travel ban based on a list from Obama that temporarily suspends travel here. It's truly unbelievable. But it gets even worse. Iran wants Trump protesters to know one thing: we're with you. So they're out there on the streets chanting death to America, and they're with you, protesters. So you're basically chanting death to America with the Iranians. NFL warns Texas that its proposed bathroom bill could jeopardize its chances to host future Super Bowls. That's right. The NFL says, take transgender bathrooms or we're not coming to your city. Unbelievable, folks. More out of the NFL working for the New World Order.
In case you haven't heard, Infowars has become the most influential media outlet in America. We're making freedom go viral. And now we are proud to announce a new weapon in the epic battle against the globalists. Infowars Prime, where you can watch live high-definition feeds of The Alex Jones Show, plus exclusive insider videos from the Infowars crew and behind-the-scenes action. Go to Infowars.com/app and download today. Infowars Prime is available right now for your iPhone or Android. You will have access to exclusive videos that you can't see anywhere else. And that means live coverage of events and breaking news on location as it happens. You can also take advantage of amazing deals from the Infowars store that are only available for Infowars Prime subscribers. That's Infowars Prime at Infowars.com/app. And if you can hear my voice, you are the resistance.